Nation of Islam.
Okay, what this dude is doing, right? What this guy is doing. Okay, he's a Christian. So I guess he follows Christianity. Because I don't think he can't be a Christian, because if you're really a Christian, um, how come he doesn't have a beard? Why he doesn't wear fringes? If you're really a true Christian. Because let me tell you something, I'm not a Christian. I am not a Christian, because if I'm a Christian, I'll be following what the Bible commend us to do, to have a beard, to wear fringes. Which, I don't do that. I'm always shaving, and I do not wear fringes. But pretty soon, when Christ cracked the sky, I'm just gonna have to accept the judgment and the consequences that's going on in the world. But what this dude is doing, what this guy is saying, yes, we all have the freedom of speech. We all have the right to embrace our opinions. We all have to have the right to state our opinions as a people, as a nation of people, as every nation has the right to do. We all have our own opinions, and we all have the right to state and reveal our personal opinions, what we feel. But what this guy is doing, what you're doing, sir, Jason Whitlock, what you're doing, you are blending, you are all up in the mix. And I think it's all confusion. It's all confusion, because what you're doing, you're mixing pro-black, and you're mixing the Nation of Islam, and you're mixing the Hebrew Israelite community, known to be as black Hebrew Israelites, which that is not who we are as a people, because we're not black. Because black is a color. Black is not a color. It's not just a color. It's a curse. It is a curse. But the reason why we call ourselves black, because we are people of color, known to be as the original people. Now, you as a journalist, sir, I think you should get into some digging and get into some deep, full research, like journalists supposed to do. If you're a journalist, do more research. Do a lot of research. If you're really a journalist, because that's what journalists do. Jason Whitlock. Instead of just sitting down on your chair, getting all heated up, temped up, after you said we all have the freedom of speech, don't they have the freedom of speech? But I think you need to do your research, because the Hebrew Israelites do not deal with the Nation of Islam. They do not deal with the Holy Quran, because the Holy Quran is going to lead you straight into the Bible. This is my opinions. I'm speaking out to you, Jason Whitlock, and me coming to your show. I don't think I need to do that, because I'm not looking for no promotion. And even if I do, I got to be ready. And I got to be ready and prepared to air you out. So what you need to do is do research. Do your research, and do your research about how the brothers, there were over 1 million thousands of men, more than 1,000. They didn't just no protesting, no rioting, no looting, none of that junk. They have marched and unified because they stood what was right. Because Kyrie Irving got suspended from the NBA because he stated about a document. And that's what they got the so-called Europeans, the so-called Jews, so wet inside, right upside their pantyhose, right upside their panties. So what you need to do your research. Do a lot of research and found out, well, I'm sure he had the interview with Bishop Nathaniel, the head of IUIC. I want to say the head of the IUIC, the elder who have started IUIC, Bishop Nate Nathaniel. And I'm sure And I'm sure he have aired you out. So if he done that, I don't think you don't need any more of that work. But let me tell you something. What these brothers did when there was over 1,000 of them, when they went and marched at the Brooklyn Nets stadium. There was no looting, no riots, none of that shit, none of that garbage, none of that. Why? Because this is unity. This was unity, and unity is bigger than Black Lives Matter. Unity is bigger than whatever happened back in January 6th. That was way bigger than that. Well, it's way bigger than the Black Lives Matter, and it's way bigger than the conscious community. It's way bigger than the so-called black conscious community. Because many of these pro-blacks are just hypocrites. Because many of them are still doing foul stuff. So I'm not going to speak anymore about that. I'm going to continue with the video. R.I.P. to Dr. Khalid Muhammad. All right. So what you need to do, Jason Whitlock, do more research, and right after you had this sit down, right after you had that discussion interview with Bishop Nathaniel, I hope you got it. You got your phone, got your smartphone. You have a smartphone, so use it as a smart way, or a tablet, or your laptop, or any other electronic you own, and do your research and find out why these brothers went out there in New York City and Brooklyn, New York, when they unified and stood by Kyrie Irving, because they believe they stood by something that was right, because they believe Kyrie Irving spoke the truth about the history, and there's nothing wrong discussing about the history. So you, as a journalist, my man, do more research. Do your research. All of it. Do all your research. Better yet, don't just sit on your ass, talk out the crack of your behind, and run your freaking mouth. So with that being said, I'm out. I'm going with the rest of the video. All right? Ja.